Yes?
You look like a real jerk.
Well, I am a corporate executive.
He stops exciting things from happening.
So what you doing?
Well, Muffy, Buffy, Biff Jr. and I are going on our Sunday drive.
Oh, no, you're not. You're going to play pole position! Atari's pole position. It'll turn your eyeballs into steel-belted radials.
Wow.
No, I won't be able to see. That's scary.
Hey! Hey!
Hello, everybody. Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. Hello. Hey, there it is.
Position.
I got it now. The radio's up too loud in that car. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Play Retro. I am Scott Johnson, one of your hosts. We're here to talk about retro games. And these turns are really hard, probably because modern gamepads suck for this kind of game. Oh, well, I will drive around corners and race like a mofo, despite the odds against me. Perhaps one day you can, too. Is this pole in the right position?
And I'm your other racer, Brian Dunaway, and I'm zooming past billboards of death by collision or cigarette advertisement to our poor, impressionable children. Marlboro making kids look cool and later on dead since the 1950s. Oh, that took a turn. Too bad I didn't. Right into the Tang ad. Pixel Cargo 16-bit. Boom.
I know you probably looked them up, but I was trying really hard to see what the other ads were besides Pepsi. It was actually really hard to tell in the game. They're really
well. It's according if you're talking about the Japanese version, the Atari American version, or Pole Position 2. So yeah, we actually going to talk about that a good bit. And we talked about Tang pre-show last week, not today, but last week, and I was shocked, I say, to run right into the Tang in Pole Position 2.
Can you believe it?
Nice.
Tang right after we talked about Tang.
Right, Tang to the face.
Still no Tang Tang Man or whatever we were aiming for there.
Yeah, but Tang. That's right. That was the whole point of our conversation was why certain products did not have mascots.
Yeah, how come you got the Kool-Aid Man breaking through walls? Tang Man doesn't exist.
Yeah, pre-show content. Check it out.
Effed up. It's effed up. Anyway, we're going to talk all about Pole Position here in a second. The only video game one of my sisters will ever play and ever has played. There's a little story behind that, so we'll get to that in a minute. Before we do that, some retro stuff for the week. This is just a little PSA. I dropped an 8-bit Do controller. Let me show you the one.
Why would you drop your 8-bit Do controller? Are your hands like slippery? Were you greased up like a pig? What happened?
Definitely not greased up. So this is the controller. This is a 8-bit Do SN30 Pro Plus, which I use quite a bit for lots of things.
That's usually the Famicom looking one, right? With the Famicom looking
Famicom colors. Also has, the layout of the buttons are Nintendo, so the B and A and the X and Y and all that. Nintendo. Anyway, I use this primarily for retro gaming when I do use it, and I use it on either RetroArch by itself or, just kind of when I'm screwing around on a PC or a Mac. This is the one I use.
Those ain't cheap. That's the SN30 Pro, you said? That thing's like $50-$60, right?
Yeah, I think I paid. I may have gotten it on sale. I think it was as low as 30-something, so I picked it up on sale. Pretty good deal. But here's the fun part about it. This thing you didn't know when you purchased this, because you may not understand just how sturdy a device this is. I dropped this on the cement and skipped it halfway down a floor that was all cement from about, and I'm a tall guy, so it's up to, probably 5 feet, 8 inches drop.
Okay, so you're holding it like, so were you holding it up like toward your chest or there?
Yeah, it was like up like this, and I was kind of dorking like this, playing with it and messing around. It slipped out.
I got you.
Spun out of control, hits one of its handles on the cement.
So it's like one of the super rubber bouncy balls, and it's like, ping.
Kind of, yeah. It was like out of control. I couldn't grab it, and it just went flying that direction on a cement floor. And I thought, well, it's probably the end of that controller. Let's go see what the damage is. I cannot find a scratch, a dent, a ding. It also works perfectly since I've used it since. No issues with control. All the buttons are fine. Everything's in place. No split plastic. Nothing.
I'm going to need you to do the check though, because every controller I have, when I shake it, it rattles because it's been dropped at some point.
Good point. Here we go. You ready? Let's do the test.
I had to shake test.
Okay, now that's the sticks.
Just the buttons.
That's just the sticks.
That's just buttons.
Yeah, those are buttons. Hold on.
Yeah.
If I hold them down, you can't hear it. Let me hold that one down.
No, that's uniform. That's uniform shaking. That's not something falling through like a Plinko piece.
Yep, nothing broke off inside. So I guess what I'm saying is I've been a big fan of 8-bit Do for a long time, but this has proved them to be durable as well as versatile. So anyway, they are not a paid advertiser. This is not. They don't give us anything. Never gotten a free product from these guys. I just really think they're awesome. So there's that.
I like their stuff as well.
Yeah,
I played a little bit with 8-Bit Do this week when I was playing our video game.
Oh, did you now? That's how I played too. I use this to play it mostly. And you know what? You're not going to like where my favorite version of the game is, because there's a bunch of pole position re-releases and it's kind of all over the place. When I tell you where I played pole position, it's so good where I played it. It's so good.
There's only one way.
No, you're lying. Well, your way probably is the best way. I know a little about what you did, which we'll get into.
Yeah. I tried to get. I will talk about it in just a minute.
What'd you do this week? You get all retro with something this week, or what? What's going on?
Absolutely. So while we were playing pole position, I discovered that there was a pole position arcade game which I've never seen in the wild, and I took a look at it and I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty sweet." I'm like, "Oh, do they have a virtual pinball that I can play?" Because there was a big sale.
Pinball, you're saying? I thought you said you didn't know there was a pole position in the arcade. You're saying pinball.
No. I'm sorry. Did I not say pinball? Apologies. I did not know there's a pole position pinball. Boy, that's a mouthful, right? Pole position pinball.
Yeah.
I did not know there was one out there, and so I wanted to play it virtually because I knew there was little chance I would get a chance to go out to an arcade this week that had it.
Yeah.
So I went down the hole of virtual pinball hole. Now, recently I bought a whole bunch of tables off of Steam using, I believe, Pinball FX, which is one of the ones that you can do. Pretty fun, pretty cool. But there's a whole community around another style that is, oh boy, it is deep. You got to go deep. But I did find something called Pinball Popper Baller Installer, which installs almost all the underlying components you need, because pinball gaming is complicated because you got the table, you've got the backboard, you've got other marquees. There's all kinds of different configurations that are involved. And I watched a 30-minute video just explaining on the hierarchy. I had a dude whiteboard all the stuff that was required to get down to experiencing the pinball. So needless to say, I didn't get to the pole position pinball, but I did start down the path. So if we got any pinball digital experts, I know Tonda knows about some of this stuff.
Does it say right here? Is this the table? Do you know?
I believe that is the table.
Okay.
Like I said, I believe that is the table. Correct. And I watched somebody play it, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
And it's cool because just like we'd expect. I like race car pinball games because a lot of times they'll have a fast path. So like if you hit the pinball in the right spot, it'll go across a little track and it'll go really fast. Zoom. And that's what's exciting about pinball. Not knowing where that ball is at coming in. It's like you got to be ready at a moment's notice to flip.
You're right. You're describing pinball pretty well, I think.
Yes, pinball. So you've played it probably. But the race theme works really well, in my opinion, for purposes. You okay?
Yeah, I choked a little on. I drank that at the exact wrong time for you to make me laugh. So good job.
I love it.
Well, good. Look at you being all busy with the fun stuff during the week.
I didn't mean to. And next week I want to talk about the Flippy Drive because that just arrived at the last second.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask. I guess you just got it though. So
yeah, I just got it. Their second order shipped. What Flippy Drive is a GameCube adapter that allows you to, without soldering, to use SD cards and stuff with your GameCube. So
yeah, we talked a couple of weeks. Oh, did you end up getting? Oh, maybe you already got that you were getting a GBA thing too that lets you.
Right, I did get it, and I played it. Played with it a little bit when we did our Wario Land, and I have more things to say about it. And I think we need to order you one. And I'll be glad to pick it up.
Oh,
but I think Ambernick has a sale for the next couple of days. Also, Ambernick's another favorite brand of ours, and they have a sale for another couple of days. And I think it's like $56 or something.
That's all.
So
jeez.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty cheap, but it's a really good experience. I was impressed.
My only beef
more to come on that.
My only beef with those guys is that you pretty much can just go any given week and go, there's probably a new Ambernick out today.
Yeah, what's the form factor this week? Mm-hmm. And all their buddies like the Miyu Minis and those kind of guys are also Retroid. All those guys are also coming out with their own. There's a new GameCube thing coming out too by these different guys, and it's just like, what form factor do you want to emulate today?
Yeah, it does feel like they know their market, and their market is collecting them all. They just want to get it all.
Yeah.
So
and the price is right. I mean, $50, $60, under $100 most of the time, unless you're really looking for a full featured experience. Might as well get a Steam Deck.
It's like, I feel like Steam Deck is like Valve's concept there is like, we're going to make a thing that's a good 5-year device. And you're going to use it for all your modern gaming and your retro gaming and your whatever. That's the device. That's the platform. Ambernick and these other guys are like, yeah, for $60, you can have this one this week. Oh, next week we're releasing another one for another $60. Hey, there's another one for 110, but that gives you a bigger screen and blah, 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 blah. Like, there's just constantly making them. And I think, and probably smartly, they know people are catching all the Pokemon they release. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
It's like, I got to have all these devices. I mean, I've done it. I've got like 6 other things now.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I've said in the past, I don't want a device to rule them all. I don't want the One Ring. I want a device that is appropriate for the game system. So I felt like the Game Boy Advance games played really well on this Game Boy Advance form factor. Because that's what it was designed for. That was the screen size, the shape, the button placements. All works just well.
Indeed. Quick shout out to a friend of the program, Maddie D., who is, first of all,
not to be confused with Sunny D.
No, but we got him. So he's doing a couple cool things. One, he's working with a friend of his who is the guy who would know more about Ninja Gaiden and speedruns than anybody in this room. And I'm going to get to interview this person one-on-one. I'm very excited about it. So that's coming up. But also, he's the one that he mailed me and says, hey, or he texted me. He says, hey, I want to play Pole Position as well this week. What is the best version you would recommend playing? Yeah. And I gave him my recommendation, which I'm not going to spoil what that is yet. He said, thanks. All we had was the Atari 2600 version. And then he says, I laughed every time I hear the ladies say, prepare to qualify with the super muffled voice. This version's great, but I sure do suck at it. Anyway, we'll get to all that in a minute. I just wanted to give him a shout out because that guy's awesome, and it's always great talking to him about retro. I don't know anyone who listens to us. He's worked at Ubisoft. He's like been a big time game developer. This guy loves retro like nobody's business. Man.
Oh, what's not to love? What's not to love?
And he's Canadian, and I love Canadians. The Canadians are the freaking best. They rule.
There've been a couple of little polls lately that I've seen. Like in America, like I think 14% of gamers in America have retro devices.
Yeah,
which is pretty big chunk considering it's old games. And I think it's even higher for the Europeans. So it's like. So
you're saying they have a position on that poll? Is that what you're saying?
They have a position on that poll. Pole position. When it goes back to my idea that I think it's better to have a really good game mechanic instead of having a whole shit ton of game mechanics, which is what we have mostly in modern times. It's like
it's true.
I think
it's a little overcomplicated. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Although I will say in the indie space, they've done wonders to kind of bring back that kind of idea.
Yeah.
Taking some more modern. Go ahead.
When you're paying, $60, $70 for a game, you're like, you better do more than one trick, pony.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes they overdo it. Sometimes they get it right. It just sort of depends. But AAA is in a weird place right now. There's no question.
It is in a weird place. Yeah.
But I am playing the living hell out of Avowed, and I love it. So there's a modern game.
Oh yes, I saw that. I want to get into it.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass, baby.
Looks good.
Obsidian does not make any crappy games. Also, there's probably an Obsidian game that's nearing what we would call retro, 20-year retro.
Absolutely.
I can't think of what it would be, but we'll have to look it up.
We'll look it up.
Anyway, more on that later. For now, though, we're going to talk about our main topic. What's that, you say? Well, here we go.
Shall we play a game?
Indeed. Let's talk about Pole Position, the 1982 arcade smash hit. Both in Japan and here in the States. It was a big whoop-de-doo. And probably one of the most, if not the most, influential arcade racing game of all time.
Agreed.
Realistic track-based racing. It was F1, sort of. I mean, it was as good as you're going to get for a representation of the sport.
It was just as F1 as Free Jack, the movie with,
yeah, that's true. Free Jack sucks. Man, that movie sucks. We're never doing that, I hope. Let's not do Free Jack.
I thought we already did Free Jack.
Did we do Free Jack? Tell me we didn't.
Yeah, we already did Free Jack. We're talking about Film Sack, by the way. It's another movie. It's another podcast we do called Film Sack.
Yeah.
So we did Free Jack. Yes, it's great. It's F1 racing.
Jack.
It was Mick Jagger.
How did I forget that?
Yeah.
Well, it's because it was 2011. That's why I forgot.
That's why it was a little old.
It was a long time ago. And also I hated it, so I probably blocked it out of my memory. Anyway, pole position. Big deal, this game. And I'm going to play a little audio. You're going to hear some of that muffled voice that Maddie was talking about. Check this out right here. Just give you a taste. Where is it? Here it is. Here she comes. Here she comes.
Prepare to qualify.
Prepare to qualify.
And before you criticize it too much, remember this is 1982.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
This is a long time ago. This is when, voices, you didn't hear voices, but a matter of fact, I remember this game well in the arcade. It was one of the first games that I was ever attracted to. The game you'd walk by a pole position game. Most of the pole positions I ran into were the stand-up type.
Mm-hmm.
There was the sit-down type, which I did occasionally play, especially like at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
But my local Aladdin's Castle arcade primarily only had the stand-up version. Pole Position 2 came out, and I did get some sit-down, but that was later on.
Yeah. I think the one we had in the garage was the sit. Or no, it was a stand-up model.
Stand-up model?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Do you hear those brake sounds, by the way? I'd like to let me iterate this real quick here.
Right.
Listen to this. Now that's after me reducing their decibel level down about half. They're so loud.
Right.
You know what? I got a real one here. The hell are we doing? What are we doing?
So one of the things you have to talk about when we get into these really old arcade games is how did you play it? And in this case, we're listening to the arcade version based on arcade ROM. It's a Namco ROM, and Pole Position was a unique board at the arcade. It wasn't like there was putting a whole bunch of different games on this board. There was Pole Position 1 and Pole Position 2 on this arcade board. So as a result, we don't have a lot of diverse versions of emulation for this game unless you're talking about console versions. Now, I played this on MAME proper, and that allows you to take, I think, either 4 to 5 channels, which this game has, of audio, and each one of them had the stuff like the engine revving. That was too loud. I took it down to about 10%.
Yeah, you have to.
Same with the tire skirches. I had to bring that down to like 10% because people are going, nope, can't watch you do this. Sorry, Brian, can't do it. Nope.
Bit much. How about this? There's another one where you can't tell what the hell she's saying.
Close drive when you qualify to roll.
I'm sorry, what?
So I think when you qualify for the race in something like that, so you qualify for this is one of the first times you ever had a race game that you would start in a position. That's the pole position part, right?
Position,
so you want to be at the front, right? You want to be at the pole position. So you're so if you finish in the top 8, then you go on to the actual racetrack and do the race. And I think she tells you, I don't know if she tells you your spot there, or she just tells you that you're about to race. But
let's play it one more time and see if I can hear it now. Right. Now that you've described kind of what she said, because you're right, it is after your qualification. So in that context, let's hear her one more time.
Close drive when you qualify to roll.
Great driving, you qualified to race. I think that's what she said.
The last part, if she says, here, let me just get
you qualified to race the last part.
Race, I think you're right. Congratulations, you qualified to race. It's terrible, though.
I think it's great driving. You qualified to race, I think.
That sounds right. Now, her first one's a little easier to understand for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Or let's do it again. Prepare to qualify.
Prepare to qualify.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Well, it's easy because they have an Atari blimp or Namco blimp floating by that says "Prepare to qualify."
Oh, that's true. You get the words. Yeah. No, that's a good point. You read along. It's like Green Needle or whatever the other thing is. Something Mountain or whatever it is. That thing that makes you think you're hearing it. If you read it, it says
right.
Or the song where it's like the chanting soccer players in Ireland, and if you read the whole list, it's like Bart Simpson always stays something ate my lays, and they're never that thing, but because you're reading it, your brain says that's what you're hearing. It's crazy.
That's exactly right. So she could be saying anything at the top. She could be saying eat nachos are good, and I would if
I would
they put
agree.
that on the screen, I'd probably believe it.
I would agree with her at that point. Is what I would do.
But I love that everything about this game is about simulation and stimulation, because even when you drop the coins, you get that little noise, and then you hit the So when you play this game, you don't hit a start button. So if you're ever at the arcade, you probably remember hitting 1 player, 2 player. This is a 1 player game only. So in this case, you drop the coin, and in order to say, hey, I'm ready to race, you hit the gas pedal, because the stand-up version and the sit-down version, there's the coin.
That's the coin, yeah. I knew I had it. I couldn't find it. Anyway.
Yeah. And so once you do that, you hit the gas pedal, and then it pops you over to prepare to qualify. And it always felt like such an organic experience. It was the first time I remember getting an arcade game and feeling like I was doing a simulation instead of, shooting Space Invaders or eating dots, Namco's other huge hit. So this was totally a different experience.
I mean, we're only like we're only like a year into Pac-Man, I think, at this point.
We're like maybe a year or two after Pac-Man came out. This is 82. Yes. So just like a year later. Namco's killing it.
They're having a moment for real in arcades and everything else. What makes this game unique, and I think important, is it's the first one that really there were a whole bunch of like top-down, really rudimentary looking racers that were no real physics or no real sense of speed. It was just kind of it's like basically Pac-Man with a car is what people are making at the time. Yeah, this thing comes out,
sprint racers and stuff like that. Before.
Yeah. But this one says, hey, what if the camera is just to the rear and below the back of the car? And what if the road scaled toward you and created a sense of 3D, even though it wasn't, obviously, but it would scale toward you that way? That alone, that decision on where to put a camera and how to have the action come at you and have your car basically be stationary, if you think about it, doesn't really go anywhere, is so fundamental to racing games from then to today. We still do this. This is how racing games come out. If you tell me there's a new Need for Speed, guess what I'm going to assume? The camera's in the rear of the car and down a little bit. Now you can change it, and now you can get in sidecars and all that stuff. But the default like happy position is the pole position.
It's the place that I always race. If I have a game and it's like, hey, you want to race inside? Hell no, put me back behind it where I can see the freaking car and I can see the wheels turn and everything. So technology finally caught up with what Namco was already trying to do during the 70s, which they had done a couple of like vector type simulation games that were very rudimentary, but kind of had this same concept. But here we're working with two 16-bit processors. 16-bit processors at the arcade. This board was a beast for its time because it needed for this sprite scaling, which was something that was still
it was very new. Yeah, nobody was really doing this. Let's just for a second, because I just saw one pass by, talk about these ads. So there's a Pepsi ad. There are cigarette ads. One of those I think just says Namco, and then there's I think a Canon one, like the camera people. I think.
Yeah, Canon. They were probably doing what are they doing? Yeah, I guess they were probably doing camera stuff at that time. But yeah, you got all this marketing and advertising that's coming in. The Japanese version was pretty much more capitalism than America's version. America's version, when Atari had the rights to distribute in the U.S. And manufacture based on the chips, they replaced all the questionable stuff like the wine companies and the cigarette companies, and they replaced it with just generic crap like Dig Dug on Namco games, essentially. Namco, Dig Dug, Atari signs. So they didn't want the cigarette advertisers advertising to what we considered kids fare in the States. So
yeah, it's a very interesting like early example of product placement in video games, which now is so frowned on. Nobody likes it now. People get pissed unless it's like, hey, we're Fortnite and you want to buy a Transformer skin. Like there's product placement in that, but it's kind of because you want it because it's fandom stuff.
Yeah.
But if you say to me, hey Scott, the new Burnout game is going to feature billboards with like Tunex and freaking other bullshit ads from today, Facebook ads, Monster Energy drink, I will be in full rebellion. I won't buy your game.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny that we get so touchy about it now? But back then it was like, it's just in there.
And they didn't sell it. I from the interviews I read, they weren't doing this to product place and to offset cost or anything. They were trying to bring a realism to the race game, which was very tied in. You couldn't really see the car, so you couldn't really see all the little advertisements you would see on a car in F1 racing. So they did the next best thing, which was billboards and stuff. And that was so tied in with racing, still is today. And so it was more of a, here's how do we make this more immersive in non-generic. And now we look at it and go, oh, buddy, trying to sell my kids some Marlboro. How dare you?
I know. Can you believe it? It's freaking cigarette ads in a video game in the arcade. Crazy.
I was trying to remember. I know in my lifetime, we went from it was okay for magazines to have cigarette ads to it was not okay. And I was trying to remember exactly when that happened. I'm assuming it happened sometime.
Yeah. I mean, I took exactly one flight in my life that still had smoking on the flight, and it was 1980. Right. Around now, I was a kid.
Did you sit in the non-smoking area of the airplane? That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have any of that. You couldn't. There was nowhere to go. It was everything on an ashtray. You just smoked on the plane. And the one I was on, I was a kid. I was probably 12 or something. It was right around now, or the time we're talking about, 82 or so. Yeah. And then the very next flight I ever took after that, it was banned after that. And I don't know. So I don't know when that started to happen in the cigarette ads, that market in terms of magazines and stuff. I don't remember, but I also remember it being like, normally they'd show, here's Virginia Slims and some hot ladies dragging on a cigarette. But then there'd be like this, the little Surgeon General warning got bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the time they stopped doing it, they were like half the page of the damn ad.
Did Virginia Slim and the Marlboro Man ever get together and, have like little cigarette babies? Is that what the candies, is that what the cigarette candies were? Is that what they were? Just little.
Oh, I like that. That's actually a nice end to that story. That's all right.
Did you have the candy cigarettes? And which ones did you have? Because there was two styles. There was that mint. I like to call them the menthol cigarettes that were just like little candy sticks that were kind of minty.
They were minty.
And then there was the roll wrapped gum that you could blow like the cigarette dust out of it like you were smoking.
Yep. We had both of those, and my mom, they were banned at our house. We could not have those. If we were caught with something like that, we were in huge trouble. Big League Chew was banned at my house. Yeah.
You're not supposed to be chawing? Okay.
No.
All right.
Anything that looked like, oh, this is like, hey, kids, learn a vice now. So when we graduate to being an adult, you just keep. I mean, it is kind of insidious. The tobacco industry's foray into children's content is a little sus. However, my mom was a little overboard on it. It was like, come on, Mom, I'm not going to smoke.
I will definitely back your mom up on the fact that Big League Chew was sold in a way that encouraged me to overconsume. So I don't think I ever just had a normal size amount of Big League Chew in my mouth.
You would always get a big, and you would just keep adding to it. And by the time fifth period was over, you're just like, I got a giant
gumball.
Yep, all running out of flavor, chewing or eating your teeth away. It was terrible. Terrible. Hilarious. Some of the stuff we put in our bodies.
We had talked about the best way to do this, how to play this week. And that was why I spent my first couple of days this past week on pole position. And my preferred way was I knew all along that I wanted to get my spinner out. The reason why I wanted to get my spinner out is because I wanted to attach my stick, which I had my wheel, it's a heavy plastic wheel that free spins. And last time I used it, I believe, was for Super Off-Road. Remember that game?
I do. Yeah.
And so that steering wheel was closer to the size of those steering wheels on those systems. The pole position had a much larger one, but this was pretty close. And I can tell you from playing the MAME version using my controller, just a regular old PS5 controller, which I had hooked up using the analog stick, was undrivable.
It's bad.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
So
really
I got my steering wheel out and I was able to pole position.
And if you fly on that thing right now, just like spin it, does it just go forever?
Right. It'll just go forever.
So this is like the sprint ones we used when we talked about sprint.
Yeah, it's like the sprint ones. You just wind it up. You go to the arcade, you're not playing pole position, you're walking by and you just spin it, and the arcade attendants go, "No, stop it." And
yeah.
It's like, yeah,
dude.
You walk by and you do this, and you also take the high-low stick, which is all you had. You had like they wanted full gears.
They did, but it was too complicated.
High-low.
Yeah. High-low worked, I think, as a simple mechanic. I don't think they needed to do anything else.
It's fast, and as hard as this game was, and how unused to this system we were at the time, I think it was a no-brainer. We don't need to be managing anything more than low-high.
I agree. I agree. Give me two of those things. I'm having fun in the arcade. This cost a quarter. Don't overthink it. You know.
Yeah.
But real quick, my version I played because first of all, let me agree with you. The arcade version with the standard gamepad of any sort of modern times or even retro times, terrible, awful.
Yeah.
Don't play arcade MAME edition game that way. I did that this week. It's terrible. It's unplayable. I don't have the wheel you have. So I went on the hunt for what I thought would be the best experience. And I tried a load of the versions of this game from Atari 2600 all the way up to, I can't remember which.
2600 is one that a lot of people are used to using that, four-way stick of the Atari.
Oh,
it
so
automatically
ugly,
it had acceleration automatically, and then you would push your one red button to hit the brake. You would go push the stick up to go on a either lower or higher gear, and you push it down, do the opposite, and then you had left and right. So very simple, basic controls.
Yeah, and it looked like ass on the 2600.
And it looks like ass because the only sprite they were really concerned with was your car. So the billboards, nothing on them, just blank boxes, places for you to run off the road and blow up.
I mean, look at that car. Look at this. It's so bad. It may as well be a spreadsheet that's animating. It's really bad.
It's bad.
So I couldn't play that.
Nothing but just.
So that annoyed me. I was like, I'm not playing this port. Let's go find something else.
Yeah.
So I did. Here's the one I went with.
And remember, this is Atari. They're the distributors of Namco's game here.
Yeah, they have a deal going. I went with the Game Boy Advance Namco Museum version of the game. Now that game collection, that cartridge came with Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Galaga, and Pole Position. I want to say Galaxian might also be on there. They just
Galaga is on there as well.
Well, Galaga for sure, but I think Galaxian might also be on there.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because it's on this cover. But anyway, Pole Position on here, I thought ended up being my favorite version to play, partly because the controls were tweaked to feel good on a gamepad, and they do. They feel very good on there. It's also kind of arcade perfect. The GBA is certainly capable of doing that. Actually, all of these games played really well because I messed with all of them. But I spent 99% of my time with Pole Position GBA, and it ended up being my favorite. I like it a lot.
I agree. Any of the Namco Museum ones work very well. I played it for a little bit on my PlayStation 1 because I had the real disc, and it was a fine experience. You definitely, if you don't have a wheel. By the way, I got this on the spinning wheel on Thundersticks. It's a website that sells these spinners. It sells this GRS steering wheel. If you want to know more about that, just hit me up on Discord or wherever on social media, and I'll give you more information. But yeah, if you're going to play this today, I would definitely recommend the Namco Museum. There's a 50th anniversary edition that was pretty good as well. Has some extra special bonus stuff. But you can pick those up for fairly inexpensive if you have a retro machine already, like a PS2 or something. You can pick those up cheap on eBay if you must have the Pole Position retro experience.
Yeah, the nice thing too about the version for GBA is it widescreens it, so you got a little more view of the world. I'm showing video from it now. It's the GBA widescreen, which isn't exactly 16:9 or anything, but it's a lot better in terms of view than the arcade one, and I just had a really good time with this.
You still get the Goodyear blimp. I think you still get the voice work too. The Namco Museum usually included that. I don't think you would hear that in a lot of versions, and everybody had a version, whether you had your Atari 8-bit computers, your Atari 2600, your 5200. You would find this thing everywhere, including I believe the Intellivision had a version as well. And it cracked me up because, Atari had the distribution rights and Intellivision put their little blimp, the little blimp that comes over and says, prepare to qualify. They had their blimp go over. It didn't say Atari on it or Goodyear. It said Intel.
Ooh, Intel.
And I was like,
that's weird.
Snap.
That's really weird.
Right. Makes sense, though.
Does it? I don't know. It's a very weird thing for Intel to have.
I'm so used to seeing Atari on that blimp or Goodyear. But yeah.
Real quick, the other thing I was going to say, what was it? Oh, this is just kind of a side note. This drove me to play. I don't know why I did this, but because I was in the Game Boy Advance stuff.
Right.
I got a wild hair up my hooter to play Top Gear Rally, which is another racing game. It's very good. I've always liked it, but for whatever reason, this led real nicely into that. And it occurred to me while I'm playing it, I've said this before in some other forum, but I'll say it again. Racing games and I get along best when the road is part of the problem. And I don't just mean tight turns. I like a flat just rate. Like that's why I don't think I like F1 or NASCAR very much. It's just go around a thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Go take an oval.
I like when there's dirt and mud and problems and spin outs and shit. This turn is way too tight, and now I'm gonna slide in this mud into the fence. Like I need the world to hate my guts in racing games,
Right?
And then
does this pole position kind of hate with these curves. It's like
the curves are rough. Yeah,
it's sprite scaling, and it is such an angle that the horizon is very close, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't realize the curve is coming up unless you notice a little arrow sign coming up and like, oh, it's coming up.
Yep.
There's no mini map or nothing like that. You just like, it's turning.
Yeah.
It's turning fast.
And as far as improvements to the formula, I would probably point to something like, I don't know, Outrun. The Outrun series is.
Oh yeah, the Outrun is great.
Yeah,
it is
owes a lot to
more
this,
of a.
I think.
Yeah, we covered that here as well, and it was. Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Outrun's great, man. I could play Outrun any time of the day. And Outrun included some up and down, some hill stuff. I don't think there were any jumps, but that's why I really got into that GBA version of Top Gear Rally, because it introduced jumps and big dips. Yeah. And you got a guy next to you going, hard right, easy left. Something. Those guys that are always in rally games. They
improved upon the formula. That's what you do. You stand on the shoulders of greatness, and you just keep on going. Now, I'll tell you one that I got to watch, but I did not get to emulate. And I wish that Brian Ibbett lived closer, because I think he has a Vectrix, right?
He does not. But maybe it is him. I'd have a friend who has one. I cannot remember who it is. Maybe it is him. You might be right.
All right. So the pole position version for that is hot. Ooh. I love how it looks, because it's got this. If you ever seen a Vector, it's kind of got like this. It's kind of got like this phosphorus burn to it, or blur. And the way the game races, and the chunkiness of the Vector sprites, for lack of a term, forms, shapes, are just gorgeous. It is a good looking version of that game. I never played it, so I don't know how it actually plays, but it looks amazing.
My buddy Dan in junior high and high school had a Vectrix. We'd go to his house and play it, and pole position, I think, was on the menu. I think he had
it was, like I said, it is hot. It is sexy looking. I love it. It's like playing a video game. I do this occasionally if a video game engine will allow me. I'll throw it down to wireframe, and just it's kind of cool to see.
I love vectors. Vectors are awesome.
It's cool to see 3 dimensions in vector. I've loved that all the way back from the Star Wars arcade game.
Yeah.
Just flying through those pylons, and trying to drop the bomb.
Battle Zone and all that stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Battle Zone blew my mind. I could not believe how big and crazy Battle Zone felt to me. Except my brother pissed me off. My older brother said, in Battle Zone, there's way off in the distance on the horizon is a volcano, and it's pooping out little polygon, whatever. He told me I could go all the way up to the base of that thing. I could drive up to the side of the volcano. You know what? He's wrong. You can't. It never comes closer. He's a
liar,
pants on fire. My only problem with Vectrix is really hard to represent in capturing it. Like, you have to photograph it. Yeah. This person did it with a camera that wasn't synced to the refresh rate, so it's awful flashy and terrible looking.
Yeah.
But if you've ever seen one in actual action, that thing was badass.
I mean, the redraw one of the things we had trouble with sprites was scaling and the redraw frame rate and all that stuff. But with the Vectrix, just had this natural organic blending of wireframes that just looked
because it was just math.
It fooled your mind.
It was just math. It was just like literally vectors, and hence the name. But it was math and not it's like graphics.
Playing with lasers.
It's pretty good version of that, though. I agree.
I thought that was
the sound on it wasn't great. I will say this about 2, which you said they use the same board. It's not much of an upgrade, if we're honest.
It was a ROM upgrade, essentially, with little else to add to it. But they added more tracks, which was the most important part. And it came out so fast after Pole Position 1. It's kind of one of those things. It's almost a blur in my memory. Kind of like when we played Afterburner. The 2 came so fast afterwards that and it is so similar, but it just adds some quality of life things. Like instead of just the Fuji Speedway, you got the Suzuka circuit and Seaside circuit and oval track.
Better, my experience when I played them both this week, it had a better frame rate. Not frame rate, but they were drawing like the lines on the road faster. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But
no. There was some improvements. Absolutely,
definitely got better.
Getting better at the hardware they had. Everything they sent out the first time around. It's like, oh, we should have fixed that, but we'll do it in the next one, and they did.
Yeah, it's the Japanese one we're looking at here. I was going to say about this. Oh, here's the lady again. So let's see how understandable she is this time around. You'd think it's a whole sequel. So maybe the lady telling you how you're qualifying and everything. Maybe she's just going to come through clear as a bell. Well, let's find out. Nope, that's terrible. What happened there?
It was the reason. So you're looking at the Japanese version. So that's Japanese.
Well, no, this audio I got from something else. This is not. I'm just looking at Japanese video. This is supposed to be English.
Oh no, the audio is that is the Japanese. It is still prepared to qualify.
Is it?
Pole position 2 in America. Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Japanese.
No wonder I couldn't make it out, dude.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to translate that into English.
But 2 had this horrible skid sound. Ugh.
Yeah, and it added kind of like almost an electronic hum as well. There was a few changes to the audio, but yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, but 2 pretty much same formula. Build on what worked before, like you said, quality of life stuff. It's essentially the same thing though. A little more background detail though. I don't know if you noticed, but there's like Brooklyn Bridge way out there, and there's some buildings, and you can see stuff. I think Mount Fuji is in the Japanese track, and or something
and
like it.
I believe Mount Fuji might have been in the first one too. That was
was it? I don't remember which one I saw.
Yeah, but it's more prominently displayed in the second one, and I love the cityscapes because these tracks are all supposed to be in different cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I read which cities they were. There's also some like walkovers and stuff that would be representative of those tracks, where you'd have people on the walkovers. I thought that was way cool. It's like, oh, who are these people?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, hello, people. There's people up there I don't know.
It's the only racing game my sister Misha will play. And if you don't know my sister, she's not a gamer. She doesn't care for any of it. She still calls cartoons carntoons. Like, she has no respect for the nerd stuff I was into. And that's okay. She's got her own thing, but she's not interested in this stuff at all. But if you take her somewhere and there is a old, new, bad shape, doesn't matter, half broken pole position, she will sally up to that thing. She will pull money out of her pocket and she will play all afternoon. She loves it.
So that's great because Namco, specifically Toru Iwatani, is that his name? Iwatani? I think Iwatani is how it is.
Probably he's the guy who did Iwatani. It sounds like Italian, half Italian guy.
Iwatani. So Iwatani, I believe is how you say it. He's the guy who just gave us Puckman, right?
Yep, Puckman.
Pac-Man. He named this, and Namco was going through a time where it's like, we need to capture the rest of the market. We've already captured a lot of the male market, and oddly, Pac-Man very popular among all race, what's the word I'm looking for? Genders. There we go. All genders.
Yes. Or races.
I was going to say genre, and I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Across all genres. No, all across all the genders. And so every ages too, all that stuff just broken down for pole position. And so it's good on Namco that they found a formula that, worked for someone who's not a gamer.
Yeah.
They were trying to find it, for everybody.
Well, it's good. It's hard to do that, especially in 1980, whatever.
And some of these tracks are vicious. We did get an oval this time instead of just that, that whatever shape that is, the Fuji track is kind of like almost looks like America. But you get an oval track, and you also get some that are just twisty, turny, and boy, I was wearing out my steering wheel trying to take lefts and rights.
You think that thing will last? How long do you expect your little spinner to last? I assume it's not forever, but is it, you feel pretty good about it? You're gonna have to put a little. This thing
is heavy duty and solid. I mean, everything about this spinner thing is fantastic. As a matter of fact, let me show you what it comes with here. Let's see. It comes with, by default, it comes with this big metal spinner right here, because that's what it's designed for. But you can attach the steering wheel, and this thing right here. Let me turn around just a little bit here. Let me see if you can hear how heavy duty this thing is.
Let's hear.
I don't know if Discord cut that off or not.
Yeah, it's not coming through.
That thing is heavy as
It looks.
I can't even tell you how heavy it
It
is.
looks heavy. It looks like a big hunk of metal. You know?
It is a big hunk of metal. This thing is well built. My 3D print that I designed to attach to my disc is definitely going to fail way before this spinner wheel does.
As one would expect.
Right.
Do you want to see something dumb that they did? They made a dumb thing. Do you want to hear about this? Because this is you watched the whole thing, so I'm saying this as if you don't know, but of course you know.
Right.
They made a pole position cartoon that had an intro that went something like this.
From now on, like your parents were, you are the secret force of pole position.
All right, they made a cartoon that was basically a spy show. And it didn't last very long. It's what is it, 13 episodes? Something like that?
13 episodes, a single season. Namco graced it with this name, but had very little to do with the game.
Yeah, as you imagine, so did the cartoon had very little to do with the game. Like the cartoon was like not about F1 racing. The cars that were in it were more like little sports car things with like
one was a Mustang and one of them was like a futuristic little mini car.
Yeah,
but they both had robots, wheels, and it's amazing. I love the little robot boxes.
It looks like an Aztec, the crappy future one. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Awful.
I can see that.
But anyway, they did spy missions and like
Wheels
stuff for the
and
government and would save people and whatever. And it's just
they had their own. They had their own. So it was more like it was very close to what Knight Rider was, right? It's like this philanthropist who is, kind of works with law enforcement, but really is outside the law.
Yeah.
And so they're doing all the things that proper government law stuff can't do. But it was also Speed Racer because you got a family here doing stunts in their off time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And you got two computers in there. I love the box computers. Wheels and Rhodey were amazing. I love this cartoon. That freaking intro song forever lives rent free in my head.
It kind of slaps. It's not bad.
I love it. I love the cartoon. I didn't realize until years later that there was only 13 episodes. They're dense.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that stupid little snarf looking guy, the cat creature thing?
I love the cat monkey. What are you talking about?
I can't stand
it.
it.
I love the cat monkey. No, I hate him too. He's but there was a time you had to have there was like a couple of decades there, 60s, 70s, 80s, where you had to have either a robot or a small little creature of snarf shape.
Had to be like,
that was like
it's like we call it the Orko rule. If you don't have some kind of Orko in your show, then you're not a good cartoon in the 80s and 90s. Forget it. So dumb. But Mask, so Sean Blue in the chat just brought up Mask. Mask was a much more successful version of this idea.
Yes.
And I think part of that is don't tie it to an IP that doesn't make sense. Like pole position, nothing to do with this shit. Nothing. Call it Spy Kids or something else. Do something original. I mean, Spy Kids, obviously.
Very Spy Kids, because these kids did lose their parents, right? And now it's there. They never approached any of the trauma in that, but I liked it. It had a nice mix of young adults in it. Like they were doing young adult things. And so it kind of stood out among these other things. Like Mask was more like G.I. Joe on wheels with Transformers somewhat. And this was more like a kind of a cozy family kind of thing where they kind of deal with like young people's relationship problems and, doubts and stuff. So it's kind of unique and it's densely packed. Like I said, I did not realize there was only 13 episodes. I had seen all of them a million times apparently.
They're all up on YouTube for free. Big free YouTubers.
Yeah, they're all YouTube free.
Yeah. You don't have to pay for them. You don't have to do anything. It's not a sneaky sneak where it's like a little postage stamp in the corner with a 3D animated monkey in the front of it to confuse the algorithm. It's actually full screen, fully not. It's like the way they aired back then. So go seek them out.
There's even I watched it last night. I threw my Meta on my head, so that.
Oh my gosh, you watched this on your Meta? That's amazing.
I watched. I so they could take all my thoughts, and so I I set it up, projected it on the wall, and someone had taken. I did all the bad things last night. I had my Meta on, and somebody had used AI to enhance it up to 4K or something for the pole position. And I watched it. It was actually pretty good.
You ate 33 pizza rolls, drank a gallon.
I did. I got some Tostinos.
Excellent.
I smeared that all over the outside of my white Meta. It was great.
Yeah.
Great.
You have the 2? You have the 2 or the 3?
I have all 3.
You have all 3?
One, Oculus, when it was still the Oculus, I have 1, 2, and 3.
I have a 1 and I have a 2, and then I didn't get the 3. The 3 is still eluding me.
The 3 is, I think the 3 is by far the best one. I mean, I cannot tell you how much cooler the pass-through stuff is. Having color pass-through changes everything.
Yeah, it's tempting. I just I hate Meta so much right now. I just wish they weren't the ones that own
hate
them.
all of it, but I also love the tool.
I mean, the tool's great. I just wish somebody else would have bought them.
Yeah.
That's all this is. They just bought Oculus and somebody else should have done it, not freaking Meta.
And then they said, here's our economy. Here you go. Hop on board, sell your soul so you can do something freaking sweet.
Let me tell you about a little spiritual successor to this series of games called Final Lap in 1987. This is a weird one, dude. So I pulled this down to play it. It's Namco again.
Yeah.
It's weird. It controls weird.
It's like they took Mortal Kombat technology and said, here, let's take some rear photos of some real looking cars and we're going to throw it in pole position. We're Namco.
It's very odd. The turns are weird. Your car kind of flips around kind of weird. And
it's very floaty as compared to the original. But, it's got its place. Final Lap was a whole series of games that very much in the style of pole position. You got audience and stuff, and it's a little more, the graphics arguably are better. You got mini maps now. You got rear views. They started applying all the
squirrely
things.
It is. Look how squirrely the turns are. Look at that. It's like,
it's almost like the center is in the center of the car, and so when it turns, it's almost like it's turning on a pole or something.
It's very weird. It's really weird. Seiko is in there as one of the advertising.
Yes, Seiko.
Yeah, it's all right. I never played this series up till today or till this week. I'd never played it before, so I tried a little Final Lap, and I'll be honest with you. I think the original OG pole position's a better game.
I agree. If this was your first experience with race games, then this might be pretty cool. But if you're part of the full story, I think pole position, the original, is just more enjoyable.
Yeah. I wonder if we have any F1 fans that have fondness for this, like actual F1 aficionados. This game means something to them,
Right. That's what I'm curious. You can finally see the cars really well. They're not all cartoony or something. Maybe I just don't know what. Because you guys almost kind of can see the advertising and stuff on the cars, and So I mean,
maybe this is a lot closer to their fandom. I don't know, but boy, those turns make you feel like you're doing drugs.
It's hard to stand out when you're part of the, second or third rung and something. It's just, you're just.
Oh yeah,
you're making new things, but some things are failures, and you got to, just didn't quite get there.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy, right?
No, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the second guy.
No,
where's my Martini and Rossi?
That's right, damn it.
I mean, where's my? I did like they added some more advertisements in the second one, and I forgot about the old red and white Dentine.
Oh yeah, dude, Dentine
logo.
Remember that? I forgot about the product at all.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And Tang was
Dentine Dentine was a gum, right?
Right. Yeah,
and then it was like hipster gum.
Hipster gum, yeah.
And then Tang, of course, this sweet, refreshing morning drink.
Yeah, everybody has refreshing astronaut juice. Right?
Yeah, everyone's got astronaut juice in the fridge, the purple stuff.
Right, come on. Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's your deep look at all things pole position. Good stuff. But know what we have to do now? We have to play a game amongst ourselves. Oh, go ahead.
Before you do that, I don't want to skip over. So where did you play it at? We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Definitely, if most people are going to probably just fire up the old Namco Museum, do it that way. But there's a My Arcade pole position. So My Arcade does a lot of Namco products. You have one, I believe, as well. Like a little single device handheld for like Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man. They're really solid, feel really good. And there's a tiny arcade. And I've watched some people play it. And I don't usually like the little tiny arcade machines because they're just too small. But this one looks pretty good. It's My Arcade pole position. It's got a nice little steering wheel. It's got a gear shift.
And Look at him.
Yeah, like that. Yes,
Pole
that's not the one, is it? That's not.
No,
is that the one? No,
this
that's
is
not the
one that you. It's actually a keychain, but it also plays. So if I go, let me turn
I
it
think
on.
the one I saw was about twice as big as that, and not like a tabletop or anything, but
Oh, the battery's
like-
dead. Damn it.
Oh no pole position for Scott. But anyway, I watched some people play it, and the steering wheel seems to work really well. You can just do it with your thumb. It looks like a really good experience, and everybody I've seen playing it looks pretty happy. And like I said, every time I've had a My Arcade product, it's been good, and I'm excited about their new Atari thing they got coming out.
Oh yeah, that looks cool.
Before too much.
We'll
longer.
probably have to end up talking about that. Like look
yeah.
into it,
And-
talk about it on the show.
And if you're looking to play something today, New Star GP just came out this past year. Fairly popular game that did pretty well. Did pretty well. in
New
reviews,
Star
especially.
GP.
Yeah, New Star, two words, New Star GP. So it's kind of got a vibe. It's got kind of a more arcade feel to it. And it looks pretty good. It's kind of got those not voxels, but like what's the word I'm looking for?
Just like low poly.
Low poly is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's
so
funny.
low poly,
It's
but
funny because
looks
they
good.
call these low poly, but really it's just stylized. It's just
Stylized.
it's a style decision. It's not like a limit of the hardware
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Wow, this looks cool. Actually, I'd play this.
And it's only like $10 or something.
Let's see here. $10, $9.99.
$10. New Star GP.
Reviewed really well. It's in the high 90s.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
check that out. Is that everywhere or just Steam?
I saw it on Steam, and I believe it's on Nintendo Switch as well. But beyond that, I'm not sure.
I like the look. It reminds me of Virtua Racing.
Yeah, some Virtua Racing, which we need to cover
Yeah, we do.
eventually, and that really got inspired by Pole Position too, right? So
Yeah,
there you go.
definitely did. I may get this. This looks
I
like
think it's
fun.
a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if I want it on Steam from a Steam Deck or I want it on Switch, but then I don't want to buy anything for my Switch because come on,
Why would
It
you
looks like
buy
it's
it
on
on
Xbox
Switch?
too.
That sucks. Buy it on your Steam Deck. Don't play it on your
Yep.
Switch. Switch is old, man. You're about to get a Switch 2. It's all going away.
That's right.
All right. Well, awesome.
All right.
Let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
Yeah. It's called Guess My Game. That's what we call it.
No, you guessed my game.
No, you guess mine. And here's what we do. We give each other a date or a year, a platform, and then 4 possible answers. And we have to guess what audio we think or what game this audio is from. And I'm going to start with my platform being arcade.
Oh,
So we're staying in the arcade here for a bit. 1988 in Japan, 89 in North America, if that helps you at all. Okay.
oh yeah. Then now I know what it is. You don't even have to play the audio. Let's go ahead and guess now.
This may not help you at all, but let's find out. Here we go. Whoops.
Rescue all hostages.
That gets better.
Intelligent information.
Gather intelligent information. Pretty good audio for the 80s, right? Mid-80s. It's not bad at all.
Pretty good.
All right, that's pretty much how it goes from there. So here are your options. Is
Right.
this A, Dark Ops hostage extraction?
Okay.
B, Russian attack force? C, Mercenary Dawn, rather.
Mercenary Dad.
Sorry, Mercenary Dawn. Or D, Operation Thunderbolt. So your options one more time are Dark Ops hostage extraction, Russian attack force, Mercenary Dawn, or Operation Thunderbolt.
Rescue all hostages.
So I don't know if you're
Rescue.
playing with me or not, but that dude keeps saying rescue all hostages. And boy, they're so proud of that. I can't imagine like Pole Position. They didn't put it in the title. So just as a total guess, since I have no idea what any of this is, and I don't remember any of these games. Russian Attack Force seems familiar, but I don't think so. So I'm going to go with A, Dark Ops hostage extraction. I think you may be punking me. Let's find out.
Let's find out. Oh, it's a shame.
Oh, you punked me.
It's the opposite end of the track here. You want Operation Thunderbolt is what you want.
Thunderbolt. They should have called it
Operation-
Operation Thunderbolt hostage extraction.
That's right. It's actually a pretty good little game. It's a light gun thing. And it's all right. It's an early example of one of those.
Ooh.
And it's a lot of fun. I like it. It's very, Rambo, let's go, kind of ridiculous over the top
Rambo,
stuff.
let's go. That's
Oh, I should also mention I kind
the
of
genre.
I didn't cheat, but I gave you a bunch of other fake names. All of these are fake. Mercenary Dawn, Russian Attack Force, Dark Ops, Hostage Extraction, not
There was
games.
something called Russian attack or something like that.
You're thinking of Russian Attack.
Russian Attack.
Yeah.
Russian Attack. Dadgummit.
Yeah, that was a game. But
that's evil.
You
should not be allowed to make up stuff.
Oh, we should 100%. We should. We should always feel free to make shit up.
I think so. I think so.
All right, give me your year, give me your platform, and let's see if you can stump me.
Right now, all mine are real. Okay.
All right.
I didn't make up squat.
Okay.
All right. But what I do like to do is pick genres that are heavily used that year, and this is one of those.
Yeah.
And so arcade,
Okay.
1980,
Sweet.
saw a lot of those Space Invader type clones, and here are a few of them. Go ahead and play that audio.
Play thrive when you qualify below.
Just kidding. Here's your real audio.
That is not
That is not it at all.
the audio.
All right, here it is for real. All right, I have beef with this because, well, I'll explain in a minute. All right.
This is every arcade game from 1980 that was a Space Invader clone, right?
Kind of, except it's even more specific for me. But anyway, tell me my options. What do we got?
All right, here are your options. Real arcade game names from 1980 at the arcade is A, Space Zap, B, Stratovox, C, Space Firebird, or D, King and Balloon.
All right. I believe that this is a... I could be wrong. I think this is a Moon Cresta repurposed.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is those sound effects are exactly
right
taken out of Moon Cresta. Oh my gosh, that's freaking me out. The dee 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 dee, it's totally out of that. So now I got to remember who did that, because maybe someone did, and I kind of have memory of this. Space Firebird, for some reason, is jumping out at me and holding on to my nuts like he wants them. So I'm gonna say Space Firebird and hope I'm right.
Like my nuts is going slowly down from space.
Yeah.
And into your...
And I have a Moon Cresta in the house. It doesn't work, but when that room way over there is a sit-down cocktail Moon Cresta that's just sitting there. That's my other project.
Cocktail.
I don't know when I'm going to tear that apart. But anyway, so did I get it right? Is it Space? What did you say? Space Firebird?
C is Space Firebird. Scott, I am sorry. The answer is, give me the D. It's King and Balloon.
King and Balloon? The hell is that?
Is a kingdom being invaded by space invaders of sorts, and you're on a bridge running back and forth because why the hell not?
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. King and Balloon,
right?
Arcade. All right, I wanted to see some visuals here because I just need to know. Oh yeah, look at this. This is a full on yank of like at least Galaxian.
Right, here comes some. So you're not really spaceships. This time you're being invaded by another faction that has figured out balloon technology, and so they're just
actually look kind of fun. I might try it.
It does.
Yeah, I might.
I accidentally got involved with this because we were doing Film Sack this week as a kind of a Renaissance Knight Riders kind of thing going on, and I just had like this fantasy medieval kind of thing in my head, and when I saw this, I laughed, especially that frog getting shot down.
Is that a frog? It looks like a king. Well, it's a king, but is it a frog? He's wearing a crown.
Frog king.
It's the frog king. You know what? I'm going to play this later. This looks all right. This looks like a great ripoff of something.
Yeah.
I think I'm in. Oh my gosh, you always got to get him out because of the freaking balloon. They're buttholes. Yeah,
the ballooners come down. They grab the king, the frog king, and you gotta save him.
This is wonderful. This is wondrous.
It's terrible. Help. It's got the same font as Nintendo's help font for the Princess,
everybody used this font back then. It's crazy how this font got used. Isn't it nuts? Everybody used this font for high score up there and all that.
Everything.
Everything. Yep. Such a weird thing.
That was the font.
What a weird time. All right. Well, both of us did terrible. Good job today, everybody.
Yeah.
But never forget, it's always important to remember, something has joined us. Welcome to Retro FIFA Street. You came out on February 21st, 2005. And it was like this arcadification of soccer, smaller teams, little NBA Jam kind of inspiration stuff. And you play soccer in the streets. NBA Street was before this.
I love
think.
Streets. I love the Streets games.
The Streets games were great. They were all from EA Big. EA Big was the sort of sub studio responsible for these, SSX, some other stuff. Can't remember the other stuff. Anyway, it was great. I don't know what happened. Yeah. All that stuff got poo-pooed away. They quit making them. It sort of sucks. I think this sort of peaked in the, around here, about 05.
Yeah, around here. Yeah. 2005. Yep. February 21st. Hello. How you doing?
Yeah, man.
February 21st.
Kind of bums me out.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that year. That was a good year. 2005 rocked.
I loved it.
Well, something with the fives. My favorite years are 85.
Right. 85. Yeah.
95. 05.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 2015 is one of my favorite years of all time for a bunch of reasons. Like, what is that about? What am I doing on the fives? Is this year going to be an amazing year? Holy shit.
I don't know, but I think Scott should make that a thing. I only live on the fives.
Right now, it feels shitty, so I don't know if it can be a good year or not. It doesn't feel great. We're not there.
Maybe it's gonna take a turn. It's gonna take a turn, baby.
Maybe it will. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, well, there you have it. Those are our games to guess. That is our Welcome to Retro. That's what I meant to say.
Welcome to Retro.
And that means it's time for us to spend just a little bit of time with emails.
Welcome to the treasure room.
Now, here's the funny thing about this. Brand new way to contact the show, and somebody already intuited it and sent us something.
Oh, look at you guys, Pete. Look at the big brain on Sean,
sure. And Sean, he must have just gone to the website and seen that we were doing this, because I did have it up there prior to announcing it, but I haven't talked about it yet. There's this new voicemail thing I'm using across all the shows. If you're listening to everything I do, you're going to be sick of me by now talking about it, but I really love it. It's from a listener's building this thing and continually tweaking it. And I'm more than happy to tell everybody to use it because it's awesome. If you need voicemails, this is a great way to do it. It is frogpants.com/playretro where all this stuff is located. But if you want to go straight to the voicemail thing now, here's what you do. voicecast.app/playretro. That simple. Nothing else. You don't have to log in. They don't have to know who you are. It doesn't matter. Works on your phone, desktop, tablet, anywhere you're at. And it leaves like perfectly crystal clear audio because you're using the mic of the device, which is way better than some phone line, which is what we've been doing in the past. So you can still use our text line to send text and stuff like that. Of course, emails are still an option. But if you're wanting to do voicemails, voicecast.app/playretro, which is linked on our main site. You just go there, bim, bam, boom, you're done. Just go bookmark it on your phone and you're all set. And it's great.
Hearing people's voices. I love it.
Yeah.
You guys hear our voices all the time. We love hearing yours.
And I get transcription in real time. I freaking cannot say enough about it. So anyway, I'm going to play this call. It's a hi from Sean.
Hey, Scott and Brian. This is Sean from Hamilton, Ontario in Canada. Just want to say I love the show. All right. Bye.
I love that because it's nice, but also it was a good test of the line. So I appreciate him doing it.
Yeah. Sounded good.
Yeah, it
Sean,
did, right?
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, it did
Absolutely.
sound good. And some people are like, they're in a crowd with it on speaker, and I'm not sure that's great. But most people they understand.
I love people being online somewhere where they're like standing in line somewhere and just going, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
But you know what? That's perfectly fine because a lot of times I'm listening to podcasts. I will stick some AirPods in my ears in a hurry if I feel like it's going to allow me to not be engaged when I'm out in public.
Right.
If it's like they're looking at me, not if I got AirPods in my ears. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah. No, that's what you do. You just don't even act like you're talking to anyone. The minute they're bugging you, just go, oh, sorry. Important meeting.
It's an important thing.
That's right.
I can't hear the real world.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm already engaged right now.
I like that idea a lot, actually. I need to do that more. I need to block people out of my life. I need to be more of a hermit than I already am. That's what I'm thinking.
Dude, I take a walk around my area uptown where I live at, and it has a lot of people who are walking and doing different things, shopping and that kind of stuff. And even if I'm not in the mood to listen to anything, I absolutely put my headphones on and just walk with my headphones, not playing anything, just so I can avoid. Do I have a problem? Maybe I have a problem.
If you do, then I do. We both have a problem.
All right. Perfect.
It says something about society right now. I don't know. I don't know what it says.
I think it's in general. I've always kind of been like that. I look, when I walk, I like to think, and because I'm thinking about the games we played that week, or I'm contemplating things, and that's my moment of peace. Unfortunately, where I live or work is so crowded, I just can't get a private moment, and so that's my private moment, my way of taking a private moment.
Just
I see you.
as long as you're not taking a dump at the mall, you're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I've never had anyone stop me and ask me a question that I was glad to answer. So it's like, oh shit.
No, there's nobody stops you at a mall or anywhere with a good question. Anywhere in public. Okay, that may not be totally true. Somebody may just be saying, sorry, do you know where the whatever? And I'm happy to help people. I like helping people. But most of the time it's like, excuse me, sir, would you like to try this freaking stupid kiosk bullshit I'm selling out here in the middle of the mall? Would you like to do that? No, I don't.
I will give us since this will probably be appropriate for Play Retro. I will give a nod to how I miss phone calls that were about nothing. I never get those anymore. I used to you would answer the phone because something exciting maybe was about to be conveyed. You know, I've got news and it's fantastic news. Yeah. I never get those.
No,
it's always, hey, can you come help me do a thing? Hey, can you give me something?
This is why I won't buy a truck. I don't want to help people move all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to help you move. No, thanks.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Plus, the Wraith in the chat is right. I have RBF, like real bad. So I think I scare people off when they see me. I'm tall. Yeah. I'm posing already. I'm already taller than everybody in the room. And my resting face looks pissed, even if I'm not. I could be the happiest I've ever been. You'll never know because I just look mad. I kind of hate it, actually. It's really frustrating. Yeah. My sister has resting helper face, or HF.
Oh, interesting.
Which means she could be in a Walmart and strangers will come up and go, excuse me, can you tell me where the wherever is? Because they think she works there. Not because she's dressed a certain way. She just looks helpful. So she gets that all the time. But me, my daughter, a couple other people I know, RBF so bad that we just look freaking pissed. But we're not. Here's my face. Here's my resting face. Ready? I look mad, don't I? I look mad.
You look not to me, but yeah, I definitely can see that. I could definitely see. I have tell me more face because I typically pause after someone finishes speaking. Well, unless we're doing podcast. If we're doing podcast, you're supposed to fill as much space as possible, I suppose. Yeah. But in real life, I will let you finish your sentences, and I will pause a beat and wait for more.
Yep.
And sometimes I think that makes people feel uncomfortable. It's like, oh shit, he wants more information. I'm like,
I think it just makes you a good listener, and it makes sure that they know that what they're telling you, they don't need to be phoning it in. You're actually going to pay attention to what they say.
Right. I engage when I'm talking to somebody. Unless if I'm not engaged, it's very intentional. I'm not ignoring you on accident. Okay. If I look like I am trying to disengage, I am definitely trying to disengage. It is not an accident. Yeah. I am not too busy for you right now. I just want to get out of this conversation.
I just want to get done. Too bad we can't all feel as honest in people's faces as we'd like to in our minds, you know?
Right.
Well, anyway, thanks, Sean, for the call. And everybody, if you're looking for ways to contact us, including this new hot way, go over to the website, frogpants.com/playretro. You'll find it all there. Our next discussion / game is going to be all around Space Quest. Oh, man, get your PCs out. Woo!
We ain't quested since King's Quest back on episode 14. We had a couple of people request, and then most recently, Baloney Ninja reminded me that we said we would do something. It's only been 130-something episodes since we said we would do Space Quest, but we're getting on it.
Do you think Baloney Ninja is a ninja that goes after all the baloney or protects baloney?
I know. I think Baloney Ninja makes throwing stars out of baloney. That's what I think.
Oh, that's even cooler. So you cut them. You take the ring,
right?
You make a star out of it, and you throw that as your chief weapon of ninja life. That's amazing. I love that.
And then when your eyes are covered up, he disappears just like a ninja.
Nice. Well, I know we got a lot of fans out there of the Space Quest series. For me, it's my favorite of the point and clicks of that era. I love this stuff. So very much looking forward to that. That'll be next week. Yeah.
It's on sale on Steam right now. The collection is for like $6 or something, I think.
Get it on Good Old Games still? Is that still a thing I can do?
I think so. Yeah. I already own it on Good Old Games. If you don't own it, I think
yeah, I think I do.
Steam has the collection for sale for $6.59.
That's it? How many
$6
how many games?
$59. I think that's the first 3.
1, 2, 3.
Right? Maybe more.
I think the first 3 are the ones you want anyway.
Right. Correct.
We did Beneath the Steel Sky on the show before, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, so this will be fun because this predated all that, the Space Quest games. And I think it may have been outside of like, maybe I did see freaking, what's the pirate one? What's wrong with my brain?
Pirate Quest.
No. It's the most, we did a whole show on it. What's wrong with me? Threepwood and all that.
Yeah. What was that called?
What? I don't know. Oh, Curse of Monkey Island or one of those.
Dadgummit.
The Monkey Island games. I think I
saw.
saw.
For longer.
I got it before anyone else in the chat says it, just so you guys know. Oh, finally the Wraith popped in, but I said it before you did. Anyway, not that it matters. No competition about who says things first. I saw one of those maybe a little bit prior to this, but it was Space Quest that really sucked me into the point and clicks. That's the one that got me.
Right.
So I have a lot of fun.
By the way, Space Quest 1, 2, and 3 on Good Old Games for $9.99 and Space Quest 4, 5, 6 for $9.99. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's just the first 3 on the Space Quest collection. They're not very transparent here about the game.
Jerks. Bastards.
Maybe it's all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe it is all 6.
Wraith, it's only about 7 seconds. He's wondering how delayed the chat is. It's about 7 seconds. It's normal. It's nothing that crazy. That way, if one of you says something terrible, I can kill it before it goes to air. Not really. That's not how this works.
Terrible. You wouldn't do that.
No, I've never. I wouldn't. And neither would he. All right?
Never.
I don't know why I'm picking on the Wraith so much today, but there he is. He's right there. Brian, that's fantastic. We're going to be doing that soon. Look forward to that. Also,
Space Quest.
A quick note to our fine friends at home about joining our Patreon. There's lots of reasons to do it. Really none not to. Want to thank some regulars who have been there for quite a bit of time. Dan K, Glamour, and Brian Cole. All members of our family. Yep, we appreciate you guys being here. If you want to be like them and get no commercials or ads of any kind, pre-show content every single week, including today, and other monthly benefits, no better time to sign up than now at patreon.com/
That's a good pre-show.
Play Retro. Yeah, and the pre-show was really good today.
I stopped you. Patreon.com/Play Retro. I'm sorry, I interrupt you right in the middle of that.
No, it's all right. You know, you're just going to wreck the promo and no one's going to sign up now. And
I know.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? No, but get in there. Yeah, he's right, though. Today's pre-show. Can't talk.
I like Play Show. That's pretty good. That's on point for us, the Play Show.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad at all. But we'll have more of that nonsense next week as well as a regular show. And you should come watch us live. We do it at 1:30 Mountain Time on Fridays. That's about, what, 4:30 your time?
3:30 my time?
Is it 4:30?
3:30 my time?
Hold on. If it's 1:30 for me, 2:30 Central, 3:30 your time.
Yeah, 3:30 my time.
Oh, man, that is early for you. I feel bad that I make you rush home from work to do this.
No, I would get off work on Fridays at 11, so it's all good.
Nice.
I come home and took a big old fat nap. I was like, what do I want to do? I think I want to take a big old nap, and that's exactly what I did. So I loaded up on carbs, and I went.
Hell yeah, that's amazing, dude! I should do that in the middle of the afternoon. Why don't I do that?
Yeah.
I could do that between TMS and this. Why don't I do that?
Maybe we should call our pre-show "Prepare to Qualify," and we just play that at the top of our pre-show every week.
Just every time, or this one.
Yeah.
Press Y when you qualify to vote.
We could play that one.
Yeah, and if we can't, and if we can't do something good in the pre-show, then we can't do a show because we got to prepare to qualify.
That's right.
We got to at least hit the top 6.
We could do this.
Why do they have to walk that fast?
We could do that.
Man, I want to so bad. I want to get back to my Sega Saturn.
Hell yeah, you do.
So we're gonna have to do some Sega Saturn in the future.
Yeah, I realize very few people own them, but there's a lot to talk about on that thing that are worth talking about. Like we should do did we do Panzer Dragoon, or did we?
We did that one, and it was amazing.
Shit, we're starting to be like Film Sack, where I forget what movies we've done. It's happening now.
I have to do a search every week. I have to do a search and go, oh, did we do that? Did we do that?
Yeah, I'll see what happens. Tom DeGosa says backup from the Mike woman. What's he talking about? What's that? Oh, that lady.
Yeah.
Really terrible. Anyway, it's been great talking to you all. Please come watch us live next week if you can. If not, play something retro, and we'll see you then.
Once upon a time, there was a hero named you. Find the next step of your quest at frogpants.com.